situation in Collingwood is that at the Collingwood General Marine Hospital, we have four confirmed cases of COVID-19. And as the hospital is indicating, and I think all health professionals across the province, this is likely the beginning, and we look to see the peak probably in 4 to 6 weeks. We're working very hard on a public relations campaign to make sure that people respect the social restrictions in place. They don't leave home unless they need to, and that they continue with the hand washing and social distancing to make sure that we control the spread of the virus as much as possible. In terms of what the town of Collingwood is doing, we held a special meeting yesterday by Zoom video conference and passed a number of measures which we are calling sort of the first down payment on our measures, which will depend on how long the crisis lasts. So the immediate relief is to waive interest and penalties on property taxes for 90 days. So any property owner can avoid paying taxes for the next 90 days without fear of penalty or interest accruing. And we're doing the same with our water and wastewater fees for a 90-day period as well. We are looking at establishing an economic recovery and support task force, which will consist of approximately 4 council members, including myself, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Doherty, who is the chair of our Operations and Development Standing Committee, and Councillor Jeffrey, who is our FCM representative and has been very active in liaising with the federal government about measures that will help municipalities on the ground. And so we hope to work together with local business leaders from all various sectors in our community, from retail to tourism to manufacturing and small medium enterprises, so that we have a good idea of good cross-representation from our economy, our local economy, on what measures we can take to help their situation and to make sure that when we get through this crisis, that the businesses can get up and running as quickly as possible with the support that they need, and that people can get back to work, and that the jobs will still be there when we come through this crisis. We have also set aside $2.5 million as a contingency fund to fund various measures as we move forward. And we've accessed these funds through the $18.6 million that we realized from the sale of municipal assets, being the sale of our 50% interest in the local utility company, Collis, and the sale of our interest in the regional airport. Both of those transactions occurred in the last council. So we are using those funds to be able to assist us in putting in place these measures to give our residents some relief in the immediate future as we work our way through this crisis. The communication with the various levels of government, it's been very fluid. I mean, the federal government came out initially with 82 million, 27 million in direct payments, and now that has been almost doubled to 52 million. Yesterday, in the provincial government economic update, as opposed to a budget, they announced $17 billion in program and relief programming, and so it's a very fluid situation. Councillor Jeffrey, as I indicated, is our FCM representative, and she's been working with the federal government and directly with the Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, through the FCM task force working group on economic measures. So these things are unfolding on a daily and almost hourly basis as the governments announce these programs, and then we have to understand what those programs entail. We have to understand how they're going to impact our residents, and then we're going to look at putting in additional programs that will augment that or fill in other gaps that we see happening in our community. So while the contact and the liaising is there, it's such a fluid situation that we're working very hard. Our staff are working very hard at Town Hall to make sure we understand what these measures are and how they're going to impact our residents. And so there is dialogue, but as you can imagine, with 444 municipalities in Ontario and how many municipalities that translates across the country, there's a lot going on. As you know, it was just, I think, this past week that the provincial government passed Bill 187 to enable municipalities to hold virtual council meetings or video teleconferencing council meetings. And our staff turned around, our clerk's office turned around very quickly and had that bylaw amendment in place so that we amended our procedural bylaw and that we could have the video conference yesterday. And I think we were probably one of the first municipalities in Ontario to do that. Certainly at Town Hall, it's not business as usual, but it's all business. And we heard from our CAO yesterday that in order to grant the type of relief that we're looking at, of our 12,000 some odd property owners, both residential and commercial, we have about 3,000 or 3,500 of those who pay their property taxes through pre-authorized plans. So those we need to coordinate with those individuals. They need to tell us if they're electing to take advantage of the waiver that we put in place, or if they would prefer to continue the payments because that's their schedule and it works for them. So we're really trying to accommodate our residents and make all of these programs optional for them at their election. So we are taking staff from other departments to infill in our Treasury department to help process those applications and calls as they come through. So we're very busy at Town Hall. We're extremely focused and in terms of serving our residents and making sure we do everything we can in this very trying time. And so we are here, our staff, maybe not at Town Hall, but certainly are connecting in and working extremely hard to do that, and it is an evolving situation, but the ability to have a video conference is obviously a huge benefit for us, so that we can continue to practice safe meetings in the circumstances, but also that we can have effective meetings and continue to work together as a council with our community to find the best way. Well, I think the message is this. We are probably now entering into the period where we're going to see the number of cases spike in our community. And it's absolutely essential that we stay calm and we work together. Collingwood is an exceptional community, and we've survived many things from wars and depressions before, and we will do it again. And we will come through this stronger than we were before, just as we have in the past. But in the immediate future, we need to make sure that we work together, that we abide by the social restrictions, that we stay home except for absolute necessary errands, and that while we're out, we abide by the safe distancing, social distancing. But also, I want us to continue to look out for our neighbors and those who are most vulnerable. So if you have some elderly neighbors, or know of some with health issues, or know of some who are symptomatic and staying in self-isolation, reach out to them. And help them in any way you can, from buying groceries, picking up medication, or just talking to them over the phone or Skyping with them, so that we are continuing to get social interaction, which is so necessary for our mental health. And we will come through this. And we at Town Hall are working very hard to make sure that we help all of our residents come through this crisis, so that when we get as the deputy mayor told me during the campaign, the issues that we campaign on are very rarely the issues that actually are the main issues during the term. And so certainly when we had the judicial inquiry looming at that point in time, that was probably one of the main issues we thought that this council would be confronting. And so we had no idea that this would be on the table. And but having said that, I am very confident, knowing our community, that we will come through this in the best possible way.